Namasarvebhyaha. This is the course on Sanatana Dharma for youth. Today, the lecture is from Dr. CSR Prabhu. The topic is how do we learn science from our scriptures? And it's the fourth day in the series of talks. We shall start with Prarthana. Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Saraswati Navastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Over to you, Dr. CSR Prabhu.
Friends, we have seen in the last 3 days the different glimpses into ancient science and technology. So when you talk of our scriptures in that sense, the word scripture refers to Vedas or Upanishads or even Bhagavad Gita, or instead of saying scriptures, you can say Sanskrit text. Again, Sanskrit text means there are two types, Vedic and post-Vedic. So the Vedas as such, which were infinite long back, they were reduced to maybe 10% or less. And the Vedas as available today, the Rig Veda as available today is quite large. The Yajurveda has two parts, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. Then we have the Hello.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. When you talk of scriptures, we are talking of multiple layers. We are talking of Vedas, we are talking of Upanishads, we are talking of Darshanas, we are talking about Shastras, we are talking of Puranas, and we are talking even about general fiction, general poetry, Kavya, Nataka, Itihasa, Dharmashastra, so many. So when you look at these different structured layers of the scriptures and you want to find out the scientific content, it has a different context and connotation. If you look at the Vedas themselves, the Rig Veda is the largest, as it is available. Whatever is lost is lost. And Yajurveda has two shakhas, Krishna and Shukla. Samveda has some 8 shakhas, Radhayani, Jaimini, and other Veda. So these Vedic texts have different subjects covered. Each subject is called Devata. So in the Rig Veda proper, we have chapters on earth, Bhudevata, on sun, Saura, Arunam, and so on. The interpretation is very uncertain. Some people give one type of interpretation, other people give other type of interpretation. So it is, the Britishers gave very bad interpretations. Sayana gave an interpretation meant for implementation in the yajnas. He has not claimed that he is giving interpretation. He simply said utilization, viniyog. Then we have the Upanishads, which are mostly philosophical. But then in the Darshanas, we have a lot of scientific scope, like Vaisheshika is physics, Nyaya is logic. Then the Shastras, which were developed on each of these subjects, like Vaisheshika and so many Shastras, Ayurveda, so many Shastras. Upavedas, like Ayurveda, also become the source of scientific knowledge. So when you look at the scientific knowledge in the scriptures, we should not expect same terminology as we use today. Physics like that. Something else will be there. Vaisheshika. So in Jyotish Shastra, for example, we have the planetary motions, calculations, mathematics, Ganita, Graha Ganita. So the names will be different. And they are usually mixed with something else. Like in Ardhashastra, which is polity and economy, economics and politics, public administration. It also gives some other subjects like metallurgy or like food recipes and so on. So we need to do a lot of sieving. We have to screen between different texts and scriptures to find out what is the possible scientific content. Now the Puranas themselves contain a lot of scientific content. Each Purana is an encyclopedia of itself. It contains Jyotisha, that is astronomy and mathematics. It contains Ayurveda, medicine. May also contain some metallurgy. May also contain Vastu. In addition to the stories, narratives, and also rituals. This fact is not known to a lot of people. Each Purana is an encyclopedia by itself. It contains many topics. And the Shastras are core scientific texts. We have many texts on Law Shastra, metallurgy. We have many texts on Rasa Shastra, mercury-based technology. And we have many Shastras in Ayurveda, hundreds of them, in different times. The first being Charaka Samhita, which is the greatest, and Samskrita Samhita, equally great. Charangadhar Samhita, Nihantus, like Dhanvantari Nihantu, many Nihantus. In the local languages, we have Vastuguna Deepika, Vastuguna Prakashika. These are materia medica. And then we have plants being explained in detail in these Nihantus. Each plant and its properties. So it's a vast subject. And say if you take Puranas, say in Bhagavata Purana, we have the cosmology described. In fact, the definition of Purana is it has to contain cosmology, how the creation came into existence, and how the dissolution will happen. So this scientific perspective of our scriptures is not usually understood. Everybody thinks they are all literary books, they are literature, religious texts like that. It is not true. You take the science of yoga, there are 20 yoga Upanishads. A lot of people don't know. Upanishads, they think only philosophy. And similarly, if you take there are some specialized Upanishads like Garbha Upanishad. It is about the fetus, embryology. So the science is that way distributed in a very difficult manner, merged with narratives, stories, religious activities. In fact, if you look at the rituals, we think they're all rituals, they're religious rituals. But actually there is science behind them. Like Agnihotra, Homa. We have some sessions in our courses where we cover the environmental benefits of Agnihotra. So each ritual, so-called ritual, has a lot of scientific meaning behind it. Like you take marriage also. Two unknown people, strangers, they are tied up for whole life together. How much powerful that ritual was. And in the Western countries where they don't perform in rituals, the marriages are short-lived. And similarly, the samskaras, the Shodash samskaras, each one is a process of purification. Like Upanayana samskara is the entry into education, Vedic education. So it is not just the physical education, but there is psychological, moral, spiritual education system that is being developed. So this way, we have to search for so-called scientific topics. If you stick to our modern scientific terminology, but if you stick to the traditional terminology, then it's all mixed. Science and religion is mixed. Then, of course, we have specialized texts like Viman Shastra, or we have Loha Tantra, Yantra Samarangana Sutradhara by Bhoja, which deals with robots also, apart from humans. Okay, I think I'll stop here. I've finished my series. If you have any questions, you can ask now.
If anybody has any questions, please unmute yourselves and ask.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. Sir, the whole the scientific development in the time of in terms of physical science, mainly physics, happened last 200 years. It is based upon one single, most important invention called electricity, magnetism. So a current carrying wire, and a magnet actually is deflected by a current carrying wire. That was a very profound experiment. Also, the current itself, the dynamic, current electricity, that in terms of some chemical reaction by, say, H2SO4, zinc and copper immersed into it, and so on. Now, do you find anything related to electricity of any kind? How to generate electricity? You probably told, I missed actually, in Veda, in the Vaishashika, any reference to electricity, current electricity or static electricity,
Yeah, if you read my book, if you read my book on the physics of Vaisheshika, you will see electricity also being mentioned.
Yeah.
Sthanayitno, they call it Vidyut and Sthanayitno and various other names for lightning also. So, like Apam Sanghato Vilayanancha Teja Samyogat, by contact of energy, water can be decomposed or water can be
electricity. Yes.
So this is clearly electricity difference. And he has also referred to the clouds and lightning. So that's why we have first sources of electricity in Vaisheshika and not Benjamin Franklin as we usually believe. And similarly, in the Agastya Samhita, there is a battery described, how to make the battery. And in Viman Shastra also, Vidyut Yantra is described, Vidyut Dvachika Yantra, high voltage neutralizer, and Vidyut Upadaka Yantra.
High voltage?
Yeah, Vidyut Dvachika Yantra is a high voltage neutralizer on the Viman, the lightning neutralizer.
Oh, that means it must be some equivalent potential has to be generated or something like that, neutralizing, or it makes it short-circuited, something like that.
Yeah, opposite, yeah. So these things have been, but alternating current is not mentioned to my knowledge.
Yes, alternating current. So actually, there are naturally we found only two sources mainly. One is that sky electricity, thunderbolt, and so on. Another is any animal. I mean, there are nerve is actually electricity is the main component. The nerves. So these two are actually naturally we see. Other things all we artificially generate electricity. These two are natural.
Yeah, batteries were used But as far as the night lights are concerned, they didn't have AC lights like we have. They used jyotis and they have used manis also, which shine.
Money means some either reductive or fluorescent
Both
kind of.
different types, various types. Jyoti and mani they have used extensively, and batteries they had used in a limited way.
Like this the firefly mechanism, they have some phosphorus, some kind of mechanism
Very
there.
small. It's very small, right?
Very small.
That's it. Okay, let us conclude now. We'll close.
We shall recite Prarthana and then we'll stand up for National Anthem. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Please stand up for National Anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. जय हिंद.